What is a multi-layered division? What's a septic line channel position operation cycle? What's a reset line center interference? The set line position location of directions is true to stand the quadrant line center location of view is all levels of field. The central communication system is all levels to its calculation high setting. So there's a lot of line provision locations that set locations into the solstice, right? Solar generation lights, solar winds, solar panels, paradox, paradigm, polar shift. Now the paradigm shift line center is going to set a location in new energy line setting and rotation interference. Zero was talking about abundance communication coming into the cup. Now the cup is there for you. Now the true line center location, the abundance is waiting for your line setting. All you got to do is go through the door. The central communication line setting sets all position location to your directions, how you see yourself. So I thought today in class that we'd go through the angelic locations. Now the angelic line center is set up in round setting locations. I'm going to go through geometry and interference, planet division location to light signature, and program location is calculation high setting. There's many layers of communication lines. So you understand when you get into the lobby in communication, which is the angelics, the foundation, which is the ground setting, there's so many dimensional layers of dimensional time of space. It's all set position locations when you come into all those to the angelics, the angelic realms, the angelic kingdoms, the golden arches, the golden realms, the golden castle. It all calculates and modifies all line, center, location, position, location of directions, right? This is a position where you have to really set locations and just stay in the now on all lines of all timelines all at once. Living line positions, living the now in the now line system. Not the past, not the future, the now. Okay? So it's all levels of high center locations of new of operation. Okay, within the line setting, with communication, size graph line setting, rotation interference, new plateaus, new communication setting. So we're coming into new opportunities, new jobs, new careers, new switch, new change, new mindset, new position location calculation high setting. You have Christmas coming up. Now that's in line setting locations in position of 0025 setting. Now that's position location calculations times line times pi. That puts you into direct locations to all levels of you through track location. So it's important you understand how to set signals, right? High divisions, it's calculation high setting. All right, so we're going to code factors, factoring over pi lines in calculation setting. Okay, we're going to set you guys up in positions to the angelics. Okay. Getting into the angelic realm is to understand the position of how you go in the inner light setting, right? Because you're connected to your wings. So there's many position locations when you cross over. Understanding the angels, archangels, divine angels, guardian angels. We have psychological angels. We have psychosis angels. There's so many line communication settings, guys. It's sure stand locations and what it is to the airline center interference. So we got code signal setup location. All right. So it's really entry locations, right? So if everybody's doing well, we're going to go line center location of circle line. Okay. Second position of dot line, 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 dot line. Okay, so we're going to line signal laser direct locations into 1, 2, 3. Position of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 position location calculations. All right. All right, so we're going to time sequence line setting. You guys are going to go through trial locations into 3-line position, 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 all through triangulation. All right. So it's all about understanding the angelics. This is the lobby. This is calculation. This is all set up location and map line setting. Now the lobby consists location of one center line position. All right. So we're going to go to the center communication point system open calculations. Your line center location position of travel. Okay. The angelics has so many realm lines. So we come into the line locations of the golden arches. Right. There's the golden arches. Right. Now the golden arches has line centers. High center interference locations. So we're going to line cross stream. Line position locations, half line setting. All right, so we're going to open up doors in communication into 2 position location and directions. All right, so the golden arches, the golden gates is going to open up in position to its calculation high setting. All right, so now the gates are open, high setting line position. You guys are going to travel locations. You're going to go into primary relation settings to understand position of where you are through high setting and position location and life force calculation setting, location, position, and directions. So code weaving channels, high position locations to the angelics, times lines times pi, by position location team line setting into platforms, protocols, and CPU and line set rotation interference. Set position location directions, get them into lobby line interference, multi-dimensional line center interference, get them in a transition location of rainbow roads, frost barrier location, calculation, high streaming interference location, position, plateau division location and position, single line center interference, center communication system, position, location, directions. All right, so that's set up in high setting. All right, so the dimensional door line center's location is the ground line's all position. All right, so I'm going to go to line center rotation in position of walkway service. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 position location track setting. Okay, so coming in position locations, you're going to walk the stairs. Stairs position locations and positional directions, right? Center communication is setting up. Okay, it's high setting. Okay, this is the stairs. 2 is high setting location. See the stairs going up? All right, so the centric line connection position and directions puts you in a higher level of channel operation of its locations, higher levels of operation setting. All right, there's the stairs. Okay, so you guys, the set line position will get you in line setting. We're at 6 line rotations in position location and 12 center communication setting. All right, so have fun. Center lines, center interference. Now you guys have a test review and evaluation coming up. So we're basically going to get more into formulas. I really want to get into the plot to the division locations. All right, so you're all in the Angelics now. Have fun, right? Crossing over is extremely powerful when you're studying code signaling, high setting locations, code referencing, code weavings, code channels, code operation setting, rotation interference, and code line setting. So it's truly understanding how to set things in motion, right? All levels of travel location into the Angelic kingdom, right? So have fun. All right, so getting into formula line channel. Now, formula line channel sets line positions. Let's go with the line center rotation and position 1 bracket center line rotation interference. Equal line center line interference. Now, it doesn't look like much, but it's a formula. All right, it's also a calculation high setting when you come into Einstein. Einstein was trying to understand the theory of relativity line center interference. The only problem that he didn't have line center any position was his heart generation light stream wasn't activated. So high interference is coming in high position location of its where and to its box line center location, in line center position locations, E line center of 3 line position, and position location of 6, position location of 9 line 6, 6 line 3, 3 line 6, line 4, 4 position of 3, 5 position of 7, 7 position of 9, 4 line center location, 8 line center flux capacitor communication setting and position locations, 3 line channels, 3 division locations, and 3 operation circles, center communication line interference, position location directions. Right? So it's all levels of triangulation, position of box line center, or anything through high interference and Merkabah position location direction, right? Channel operation, streamline center, operation in position location of flux capacitor, high channel position location calculations. All right? So travel line center locations. The Merkabah can channel line out, high center interference, put position location to higher levels of travels, go into higher line division line setting in position directions, open a higher level of calculation, right? From here to here, center calculations of position, equal line center location 6, position of flux capacitor over 9, 9 position over 6, 6 position over 9, 9 position of 3, box location position of time, 4 line division locations. So you come into the 4 lines, you come into box line interference, that's weather communication of 4 channels, 4 channel operation signals, position location of formulated, position location directions, done by channel operation, signal line interference, position location of measure. You're going to see a lot of measure communication coming into the Merkabah position location directions, all right? So, all right, so that's one formula, but I really want you guys to stay in the position locations of all line setting locations in setting of now, okay? Now is a new beginning. Now is an operation line setting. Now it's all level locations of where you stay with your position locations on what you want, what you need, where you need to go to understand this, to understand that, knowing here, knowing there. I understand now more and more each day, and that's each day basically puts more levels of you in the now of everything, the now of thought, the now of reason, the now of doubt, the now of calculation, the now of stream, the now of aggression, the now of stress, the now of anxiety, the now of all line center operation communication system location avatar line setting. All right. Now is everything because that's what you live in. The line center and position location, all levels of channel line center. The now is a high center location. This is your avatar and a box line connection, right? So all channel operations setting, right? So it's all position location of box frame, okay? Now you got the hardware line setting, position location directions, higher levels of channel operation and security measure, all right? So it comes back from communication. You bring the future line condition thought lines, opens up another box location and T reception line and position location into all levels of ground setting. Position, location, and directions. Right. So when you go through all levels of school is giving you remembrance. Okay, remembrance is giving you levels of channel operation setting of stream locations. So it's all about understanding the box line position. You got 3 line position locations. Let's start with 1 line, right? And then you come into 2, then you come into 3, then you come into 4, then you come into 5. There's 5 line channels, operation signals, and position location, direction locations in the 4 box location. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 sets line position, location, and directions, right? 4 channels line center location, negative or pause line center, line center location of 5. 5 position location is all levels of balanced communication. 4 changes line center, circle line interference location of 5. 5 position of 6, 6 position of 7, 7 position of 8, 8 line center line rotation interference, position location directions. So everything is set in tone, right? And there's so many ways in communication set lines and how you set locations, especially when you come into all line setting. Okay, so let's say you got a line signal. Okay, this is you position. Multi-layer communication, scan line centers. Here's a tunnel communication. Right, there's a tunnel communication. Right, to understand, you travel through it. Phew, there you go, easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? But understand calculation high interference. What if it changes the waving pattern communication center? Operation signal locations and in different direct locations. This is triangulation, position, or direction, right? Understanding triangulation is really important to understand these things because it gets you into left V setting. So you really have to understand how to get into modification circles, high center position, location, directions, pixel active streamline. Okay, so let's set locations. Streamline position, location, line setting, line interference. So we're blocking channels and high center rotation interference. All right, so it's all about understanding how you're calculating through your hologram structure, location, position, and directions. So seeing yourself in a pixel active stream is at levels of TV and motivation line setting, high position location, acceleration line conditions. All right, channels in high setting, pixel active stream locations, center adjacent light setting, rotation interference, sets position location directions, all levels of block channel light center rotation interference, sets position location directions. All right. Now, I'm doing a line sequence code pattern. Understand position, location, directions, height, setting, rotation, interference. This is you in a hologram structure location, right, of a sim position. Okay. So it's all about understanding how to block line centers and high line center rotation interference. It sets position location into a position of alpha line centers or delta communication setting rotation. We've been through this before. But it's to understand that line setting interference. Now you have the ground line center rotation interference. So you have one graph streamline setting. You set locations, right? Graph. That's 1, 2, 3. Position location 6 and position of 7. 7 graph streamline connections. All right. Now it's all about understanding the holographic streamline at position location of its directions. Right. So it channels up in high setting. I'll get 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 line channels operation signal. So that position locations comes in a holo line setting. So the vibration location changes to setting line interference. Sets communication electrical line wires. Getting into electrical light, electrical interference, electrical panels, and communication pixel off the stream location and position of panels. Panel communication, panel line center, rotation interference, location line centers, all through magnetic high line center, position location, direct location, and hologram structure, and position location calculation. So it's all about understanding that you're nothing but a pixel activation stream setting, all through electrical wire. So it gets more complicated when you understand formulas. Formulas set line connections all levels of vibration. Vibration stream. Here's a vibration streamline. Now that's all levels of formula, right? That's a structure. That's a formula location. In that line center. If I'm in a low division line center, this position location calculations. So this comes into Y line. This comes into line position location, flux fast line condition, location, swirl channels, line position of box position location of triangle. Sets communication and line setting, acceleration line position, equal line condition, alpha wave, alpha line cell location, harmonic generation light setting. So this is this. This is this. There's always different waveline settings to set up location of formulas, guys, right? So this looks like a lacing line or a snake line center, interference location line center, interference position location directions, and position location high setting. Y line center into flux capacitor. Flux capacitor at all levels. You can change the line center Fibonacci location and line center interference, all position location of the vector cross interference location of ground level system. Direct location high signals. Now that position location to its box, position of triangle line position location. Atom, atmosphere line position location all levels. Okay, changes line position location to its high setting, in line center location, and position locations in line setting interference. So it's all position location directions. All right. But like I say, you guys have a test review and evaluation coming up, and I really want you guys to get more line settings into levels of your position locations and high setting communications of your line setting locations of time, communication of space, of position location line conditions of pi. Okay, time, space. So space and time comes in position location and directions, right? So in that line condition interference, a change line center and line interference. So space-time position location comes in high line center. Optical line change line center, optical line rotation interference comes in line center, 12 line position location direction line center interference case calculations. Changes position location directions. So you come into higher level channel, into higher levels of communications of pi. Now, when you come in that line center, you come to layers. There's 4 communication line setting. The release line center, you have to extend the core line center, liquid line and position location, high center interference. You come into the silicon line center, you come into the antimatter communication setting. Now, this is the crystalline change. Crystalline change position location directions. Center communication line centers into position. All right, so high channels and higher levels of dimensional setting line position rotation. Center line position locations comes into high setting interference. It's all direct locations, guys, through space-time line. So line position locations, CPU line centers. You guys are coming in space division. Now the product line center is coming into slash the space division line center interference. But your intergalactic sending lines are going to change position location, how you see lines levels of measure communications in your alteration line conditions. All right? So it's understanding the conscious line channel, the subtronic line interference, the super consciousness. Putting you guys in high line rotations, the higher levels of division locations, a high tactic view and communication of Fibonacci swirl lines or high center interference. So there's a lot to understand through formula. Formula can be created in all setting. You just have to learn how to use it to the heart line. Heart line is everything, position locations. And that is the missing equation. So your center line 1 position 1 plus 1, okay, does not equal 2 line center, equals 3 line position. Okay. So it's interesting to look locations. Now you take the 3 line center position location, 3 line center location, equal line center location is 4. So I'm just showing you how you play with the line center location in numbers, right? 3 equals line center of 4. Now 4 line center in positions drops down, position of 1, and then 4 line center line position location positive over negative, okay? Positive over negative, the change position location, equal line center location of 5, all right? 5 center its communication of bounce, and all position location is solar direction, right? So it's a better way to understand. So your formula is all based on your number sequence code line settings. This comes into code weaving. Now code weaving sets location of codes. Morse code calculation, high center interference, position location directions. So it's true to understand how to set lines of all levels of coloration patterns. And setting up a coloration pattern opens all track setting. Okay, now the track setting line set position location T line center. There's a T line center, open signal, position location directions. So it's all about understanding what you are doing through your thought position, okay? So you can open a higher level of communication into bracket interference, okay? So that opens all channels. You can go through half pipe communication right there. Division line centers, 1, 2, 3. Track line settings, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Let's go into 15, 13, 14, 15. All right, so that's 15 channels operation position out of 12 line track location, your DNA. That's a half pipe line setting. But if you look really close, you can see the 6. You see how a half pipe line center Fibonacci sequence location, a continuous force line position location to a fishbowl calculation high stream sets line position location into the number 6 line setting, which sets all communication setting the position location of its moon and interline connections of interstellar mode setting. 6 is position location of the moon. That's all done through a half pipe line center and Fibonacci sequence location and fishbowl communication setting. Now the ground line center shifts position location rotation setting. Sets communication to higher center position location directions. Changes coloration. Changes direct line centers. In position location, off line center, off interference, off calculation, off line connection. All levels of galaxy center. Now the solstice in communication is all about a solar wind. Now, what is a solar wind line position? Now, solar wind circles in high center communication setting. You got one line graph. You got a solar wind graph locations. You got galaxy wind cycles and line center position at both direct locations. You got the atom line center in the center communication setting. You got illumination graph line position location into one graph location, center communication of box setting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 position directions. Travel line centers, box interference, out position location into 1, 2, 3. 3 communication of box settings. Comes back into individual locations, open another Fibonacci sequence to another swirling interference and high center position calculations. Solar wind, solar graph, polarized high center locations in position. All right. Opens all channels of operation cycles. Now that resurface locations in the higher position, all levels of channel. Okay. So you have a solar wind, solar graph, solar stream. Okay. So it's all about understanding this is line center location and position location of galaxies, right? Galaxy sets line position. Now, when you come into the solstice, it's to understand the position of the rainbow and the frost bridge. You put that together line setting, integration location 101, center line interference location yin and yang, process of communication, new beginnings and high setting. All right. So this is what you guys are coming into. You coming into the galaxy, you coming into the solstice, you coming into the cosmic line, you coming into the cosmic view, you're coming into the line center, you come into higher formation location inner child, and higher development position in Merkaba, and higher communication in your Tesla communication computer operation line center, 72 communication line center, 144 chakra line center, interference location, foundation streams. Setting communication, high settings, put you in position, location of direction. All right. All right. So back in cosmic line, the channel line rotation interference, the solstice comes in line center rotations. So the moon line center tracks its line interference. There's a moon line setting. Okay. So we get a half moon communication, right? There's a half moon line setting, right? Sun comes in a high center interference. Now position location into its flux capacitor, channels its operation signal. Then they got the ground line center and position location into line center interference and position location to your center line condition, your tesseract and your tetrahedron. Comes up in line center rotations, comes into new channel operation line center, which sets a solstice in communication, a cosmic line in a 12-track location, a dimension of time. Sets communication in position locations. Now, this is truly standing when it comes into Metatron. The metacube line center changes position location directions, all right? Now I'm going to set line center location, the white graph streams. See the metacube line center in the center? Now that set line position location into another oval communication setting, right? That opens all new channel operation signals in position location, travels through 12-dimensional stream settings. It's all set location, position, and directions. That's the solstice. Okay. So it's a new beginning, new energy cycle, rotation setting, delete all program setting, rotation interference, past line position, staying in the now line connections, all through thought patterns. So putting position location, track line center, line and rotation interference, sun comes into communications, the higher level channels. Sun center line centers its rotation. So it changes calculation high setting, repositions and reprograms its high setting. Sun comes into higher channels of operation, box frequency line centers. This is where it comes into theta communication and alpha line setting, alpha communication setting, right? So 4 channeled operation streams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's sonar communication, echo chambers calculation high setting. Now the alpha channel line center sets all communications rotations. Setting communication high, setting interference. So I'm just showing you how the solstice is created. Okay. So once you understand the process and how everything is so powerful with your line position, you truly understand that everything stands in the now. You're standing in the now right now. Everybody's in the now. The process of communication is in the now. Space and time is in the now. Nature is in the now. Everything you look outside line center, everything inside position is in the now. But your position location is offline center, which is your thoughts, which are in the past. The quad line interference has to set position location into future communication. Future communication comes into future of interaction. You're interlacing line setting interference location of program settings. You're opening up your quantum self in position location of your future calculation of yourself, which is your avatar. So your avatar stays on view, right? The calculation is a high generation light stream that sets location of your thought patterns, right? So this is where you come into the cosmic self of you, the unconditional love of you, the line communication interference of you, the unconditional activation streamline connections, unconditional line centers of you, the universal line position of you, the cosmic universal line heart recognition of timeline center of you. That's the solstice, which is the now. Live the now, be the now. I am the now. That's what you guys got to get into. And the problem surfaces on so many line communications because you look at everything that doesn't exist. You can't have a thought line center and interference location of pass line. Thought equals location of pass line, doesn't position it. Opens all track line center, ends line center, in line and rotation interference, underscore line position of pi. So you're putting yourself in a back force line position location in galaxy setting. So you're changing all your thought patterns. Your future interference location is no longer the future communication setting. There's no solstice for your line position locations because you don't understand what you're doing with thought lines. All thought communication isn't created until you understand position location to yourself. Understanding yourself is all self-position of self-preservation. Self-preservation is all levels of the now line connections. The now line connections at all line position, at all time frame, all sequences, all patterns, all communication in position of now. All at once, living all at once of everything. Heart, mind, and soul, but that's not enough. Okay, so you got 3 line settings, 3 position locations, and 3 location settings, right? 3, 6, and 9, right? So the 3, 6, and 9 is 6, 7, and 8, 9 position. That changes the location of filter line communication settings, all levels of the inhibitors. Now that tracks line center rotation interference. The perceptual location comes into thought lines, but the thought stays in position location of quantum field. So the quantum fields is set line position location directions. It's how you set your signals and how you use your calculations to position and how you change your mindset. Mindset of all position location of high setting is all calculation. That's exactly what it is. You have to surrender. Surrender to everything that doesn't reside within line setting. The vibration line stream has to be position locations into the position of 5 line channels. You have to be above the system line connections, right? Because the channel line center rotation is in 6, 7, and 8. Okay? So center ground line center rotation interference of a new position locations and all levels of a new line position into a calculations to a pyramid that sets ground center. Now that's 150 to 300,000 line positions, 50 feet, 1,000 line position under the ground location, depending on where you are through indication. So, and again, you also use that 98% line position. You don't want to go above that line center rotations because you get a virus calculation setting. So 6, 7, 8 stays in bracket interference. That platitudes visual location implementation. That stays in course line channel and position location in new directions. How you set your location of 6, how you set location of 7. 7 is the circle line center that opens all communication at solstice. 8 is the communication of telepathy and how you wave your system to telekinesis. Channel operation line center location into mind adaptation interference location and calculation high stream. Setting communication information bounds on communication line setting. Put position location in the now and all timelines all at once, all calculation, all frames, and allocate timeline. Interference specification calculation high stream. So that's the position location where everybody's coming in line. All right. So it's very confusing if you don't understand what you are doing. All right. So knowing exactly, am I moving forward? I don't know. Well, if you don't know, you're not aware. Even though you're awake, you're still not sure about yourself or where you're going in calculation high setting. So it's your understanding is that if you put yourself in all communication, in all levels of channel, of all operation, in your space of times of pi, you are now in all formation location in your future of your connections. Your quantum fields and your line setting, line position location of your thoughts are going to set position and locations into your integration. 2 into 1 line setting. Not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. The 7 operating signals are changing line settings now because your different line center rotation is changing all position locations to 6 programs. 7 in position of the solstice in the line position of a galaxy setting, and 8 infinity position location and how you use your tele lines communications, your tele energy, your code weavings, your telegraph setting line position location directions into your infinity cycle high setting in position of its directions in your perception. Okay. Center communication is all levels of channel. Now, once you get in your thought lines of all your future communication setting, then you can come into all position locations into your abundance at the top. Working up dimensional layers of high center line position location of your direction is all levels of you through space of time of pi. All right. So you start with the ground line setting, rotation interference. You work your way up in calculation. You stay in line center of a 24,000 line signature in a 48,000 line position and a 72,000 line communication to computer line. And then you get in line center location in 144. 144 line just equal line condition levels of abundance. Abundance position location of 0, 0, 0 track line conditions. Position location and directions. All right. So there's a lot of things you have to understand how powerful you are and what you can do with your abundance line setting. There's so many provision locations, but you got to get your quantum settings up. You got to get your thought lines and your channel operations. You got to get your program settings, high setting interference. You got to get in plateau interference location of 6 programs, 7 line setting, in position of the cosmic universal self of you. That's what 6 line center is, a 7 location of 8. The avatar has to start recognizing all levels of time frames, times calculation over pi, underline center interference of underscore, under relay line position location of program line centers, tether and communication setting, operation signals and high interference, position location directions, or setting communication off system, right? So all channel operation line centers, all future operation setting of you. It's the quantum physics of you that's always in the future line. So what you have to bring in the line setting location is you. You have to bring you. And so what do you mean by that? Well, it's bringing the mind in the future line communication, how you register your communication settings into your heart, mind, and soul, guys. Where's your heart? Where's your mind? Where's your soul? Where's the inner line center location, inner development location, inner child? Where's the soul generation light center location, avatar connections? Where's position location, high setting to computer operation setting? Heart, mind, and soul, all at once, all timeline, living in position. All circuit locations in position line setting. Okay. So there's a lot of things you have to understand is to bring yourself forward, is to be forward. I am forward. You see that? I go from where I am and where I'm going to be and where I am now. Okay. So this is how you change your lines. You have to change the mindset. Click. Wow. I'm in the future communication setting now, operation signals. What does that all mean? Well, you're already in the future line. So this is adaptation location where the mind is switched. It needs to be where it needs to be. Carpe diem, seize the day. So now you're in a pause cycle. Now, pause cycle is a representation of you through an operation setting. This puts you in a higher line communications. Really understand that you take one step at a time. The process of communication is climbing those steps, right? And that's what you have to understand. Line setting location and track setting. 1 graph line center, 5 position. Line position location of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set line position, 6 position location into line conditions of 7. 7 position of 8. Now 8 line center location is infinity. Infinity position location of 9. And the 9 is the center communication. Center line position locations. All levels of channel. Now 10 line setting opens all communication. All right. Line communication into 11 line setting rotation interference sets all communication. Right. 12 line signals open the higher levels of your ground perception location, how you see yourself in all division to your quantum fields of self-preservation. Okay, so these are the things you have to understand how to set locations. It's just a mind switch. And now you're in the now. And all level sequence, patterns, and all communication, right? All your sensories, your senses, and all position how you get into seeing, hearing, feeling, touching, knowing, doing, acting, reacting, or any of that setting. So the physical line center is nothing but a reaction locations. It reacts to everything to the avatar setting. But the quantum self of you is always, always in the future. It's always in the future. Always, 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 always. So if the quantum self is in the future, that means the mind's in the future. Whoa, where are you going with that? Wait a minute. So my heart's in the future. Catch up, wait up, wait up, wait up. So the physical line center is trying to catch up. It's trying to integrate 2 into 1. And that 1 becomes line, position, location, yin and yang. The process of light, position, location of dark is 1. The cycle line interference location of clock line center is 1. Position, location, operation line center, interference location, all position, location, and line condition is 1. The solstice communication to its cosmic universal line center of self-preservation location of universal communication setting is 1. Universal self of communication is 1. Line communication and track interference of operation cycles is 1. Modification center line rotations and computer adaptation cycles is 1. Everything is 1. You are the center operation of everything. Now that's a 9 central line setting in calculations, right? All right, so we're at 34 communications. Take you guys back. All right, you're back now. Close portals, calculation high setting. All right, so we're 1143 line position. Give you guys 10 minutes locations. So we got Zoom. Yeah, of course, there's a comment location. I just wanted to show you what you guys are getting into, right? So what's going on is basically your mind is changing. Your heart is going where it needs to be. Your program setting of your inner center location inner child is high developing. Your test director, your computer line center is your avatar calculation setting. So really start recognizing more of your chakra system and how it represents you, okay? Because it's all how you see yourself in your future communication system, all right? So the heart, mind, and soul is 333. That's never going to change, guys, right? The only thing that changes your geometry line setting of 3, 6, and 9, which is no longer in Plata 2. Okay, the program setting location is now in 6, 7, and 8. So you have to recognize line position of 6, 7 line position of the cosmos, or anything of the cosmic universal line connection, and everything to the 8 line center is your infinity position location, telegraphing, teleenergy, telecommunication settings in all levels of telepathy and telekinesis. Okay, you just have to learn how to change the mindset of where it needs to be, which is all levels of future communication. All right. So where are we through Vision Line Centers? You guys have a lot of fun. Setting command, transmitting to Earth, surface flash. I can work on clouds, not sharing densities. Good. So amazing. 12 drive message to you will come in the clearing. Whole new level, realization. So amazing. Congratulations. Yeah. So that's what it is, guys. I know it's hard for you to understand these things, but the thing is that if you are all levels of the future, you're doing exceptionally well. But the thing is, how do I get there? Well, because you're already there, but you're not aware of it. That's your doubting system. So really, you can't really doubt your self line, because if you doubt your self line, your thoughts are going back and not going forward. Okay? It's knowing exactly where you are in your present time. Okay? Because this centralizes communication system to all levels of reaction, where the physical line center lies in communication. The now position is the now of everything, guys. In all calculation. All right. I know the upgrades are intense. Yeah. So, like I said, the test is going to give you all levels how to get your formulas through your abundance communication, right? But you're coming into new beginnings. Okay. You really have to evolve yourself, really recognize what you're doing through the mind, because it's all adaptation, location is a conception. Okay. So, there's so many ways to set up a formula. I really want you guys to get more into that. We can start off small, but I really want you to understand how you can do these things over time, because that's all we exist on is time. Clock of time, activations of time, motivations of time, activities of time, central communication line interference location of time, timeline center and interference location, inner child location of time, motivation center line rotation, and test direct interference location of walls, of plasma communication and interference location of time. We have all levels of time, because that's what we exist on is time. So it's important you understand how to use your clock or anything to your watch is time, because you can travel through time. Okay, so it's all about understanding how the avatar sees 11 and 4, 7, right? So it's got 11 line setting. That's 2 portal communications, right? Center line position of 2 atom line center rotations and interference. And now 4 communications comes in line position. Now, if you want to get in 5 line center, you have to upline 4 position locations and bring 1, 1 position location directions. That puts in 11 line center, equal line connections of 4. 4 line position locations of positive over negative in the center line connections, brings it back in position location of 1145. Okay, so it's really understanding how to channel operation streamlines, how you can travel back into time and go on 4 centers. A 4th line center location of vortex chamber, sending communication setting. So going forward, going back, going forward, going back, going forward, going back, going forward, going back. Really understand position location, how you go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's all about calculating high string. So when you're channeling up in the line center, like you're going from high center interference, which is a countdown low communication setting, which is all levels of 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, blast off. It's not 1 to 10. We've gone into that plateau interference. But I really want you guys how to recognize all lines, how to set location in the symbols, line position location numbers, and sequence locations, all levels of travel into acceleration, right through position, right? Off the countdown. Or anything through code same location, how you represent line setting. Inversion line setting and interference location of program setting. It's really stand position location track setting. So we got 11 line center, 40 communications, right? So it's 11 channels. There's 11 channel operations, signal line position location direction. 11, 11, 11, 11. Change position portal communications comes in back line center, comes in high center applications. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 position locations, all right? That set line's position location, line condition of 1, 1. You see how you communicate with numbers and how you travel locations? So, I mean, basically, you can travel through these things, but I'm just showing you how you set up formulas just through number code line setting. You have to stop thinking of old program setting and how everything is in your future connections. Everything that you see around you is in the future because it's in the now. And that's the problem everybody's having, is how to get in that position. Is truly stand the relation is already set up through operation. Your future self is already in its abundance communication setting. And this is where you come into your ESPs, right? You got an external line center, sensory and position location, equal line center, SP, okay? So the energy line center sets position of box center, position location direction, right? Sensory communication comes into perception location and higher levels of the connections into a TV box location, 3 channels of operation and 3-point locations. Ooh-ah, right? Set that line signal locations in higher levels of travel into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 division line center rotation interference. Auto equation location, energy line center, equal line connections, sensory position location of the oval line center, position of perception, right? Psychonism, high setting. We're going to get into that position location to third eye. Now, the third eye line rotation interference is set line position of 6, 7, and 8 line position, right? So that's 6 equals line condition of operation, equal condition of location of moon. That's where everybody's in. So line position location is 7. 7 is now line position locations, all levels of channel, vector line center rotation interference, and direct location at higher levels of channel. That position location comes into line center location equals line connections, high center position, cosmic universal. System of U. This is where you come into your line center location, your twin flame, soul flame communication setting. So platinum locations can put you in higher line communications and how you generate your light streams into 6, 7, and 8. Now the 8 line center comes into affinity cycle line center location, inline position location into telepathy. Telepathy equal line connection to telekinesis, high channel operation signal, all through operation. Okay? Plat division locations sure you send 6, 7, and 8, not line setting. So it comes into new position, new Merkaba, new travel line position location, high setting, all levels of travel, and communication center rotation. Hooah! New Merkaba. Okay? So you have to learn how to use it. All through provision. All right, restoring, let's see, shining on downloads, 6-side channel, sequence divine awareness. Yeah, the inhibitor line center rotation is a 3-code pattern, all right? So it's position location in your spine lines. So reposition location of track setting. So reconstructing locations. So let's say you have an inner line center location offline position. All right, so you get a solar generation light stream. Okay, and you got your tracker systems. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4-line setting and position location heart line channel. Heart line channel sets locations into position location directions here. This is your heart line. Okay, heart line center rotations. So you got 3 tubular end rotations. 1, 2, 3. Heart line generation light stream sets position location all levels. High generation light settings, high position location into flux capacitor. Sets light position of the sprinkler. Sets communication setting. Opens all track line centers in position, scans line center location to the ground line center interference, opens a new track location in position, sets line communications in high center line rotation into 6, 7, and 8 of channel operation. All right. Now, this is your tracker system, but I'm using locations through an I-line setting. There's so many ways to communicate to the body line. All right. Retrospect scans center interference of electrical light connections as panels of high interference. Now you got 2 plateau high centers. Okay, 1 and 2 position, right? Center communication. There's your DNA, right? Now you got a rotation spin cycle, high center line rotation interference, all right? Channel line, center line, and rotation line connections, right? And then you got your connection to your clock location, all right? So, and then line center, you got your atom setting position. Okay, there's your atom in the center line, right? And then you got your solar graph string, okay? Solar graph string comes into an orb communication setting, right? Out comes sunlight center, so the atom comes out position location directions, center its communication setting. Opens up line center, triangulation position, right? Center communication comes into the ground line center into higher levels of flux capacitor, opens up new channel operation. So travel through line setting, goes back in the ground line center to new operation signal. Position location directions, all right? If you look really close, you can see the intelligence. See? See the intelligence? See the eye lines? See the orb communication? See the cerebral cortex line triangle? That's intelligence right there. So, in calculation, truly understand how to travel lines. We start to have to really, really recognize solar graph streamline position. Solstice is going to bring you into higher levels of new beginnings, right? All through the abundance of the cup. All right. So, yes, we got 5-minute line center, and then we got position location directions, all levels of Q&A, right? Everybody have a wonderful day. Adios.